myself Pinky Singh, Assistant Professor, IMS Law College, Noida, and today I will tell you about the sociology. Under the sociology subject, this is the pre-law subject in the BA.LL.B course, and under this subject, today I will tell you about the basic concept of sociology, means what is the meaning of society. Basic concept in sociology means society. So, this term society is derived from the Latin word socius, which means companionship or friendship. But if I can say that the word sociology, it is derived from both the Latin and Greek origins. Means under the Latin term, socius means companion or society, and a Greek term means logi, or we can say logos, which means knowledge or study of or science. So here we can say that the meaning of sociology is thus the science of society. Okay. There are two primary components of a society, are its culture and its social culture. So the basic premise of sociology is that the human behavior is largely shaped by the groups to which people belong and by the social interaction that takes place within those groups. Okay, so society is one of the basic sociological terms. In simple sense, society is a large grouping that shares the same geographical territory, shares a common culture and social structure, and expected to abide by the some laws. So the main focus of sociology is the group, not the individual, and the sociologist is mainly interested in the interaction between the people, the ways in which people act towards, respond, and influence each other. Some scholars are of the opinion that society exists only when the members know each other and possess common interest or objects. So, among the academic disciplines, the known as the social science, sociology is considered to be the new, as when compared to the older disciplines, like if I can see political science, anthropology, economics, or psychology. So man is a social animal, as it is said by the Aristotle centuries ago, and man needs society for the attainment of his optimum happiness and where he can work and enjoy his life. So uh, the factor on which the sociology is depend is the persons, is the group. Okay, now more broadly, society may be illustrated as an economic, social, of industrial infrastructure made up of a varied collection of individuals. Members of a society may be from a different ethnic group. So, as I can say that Auguste Comte, who was known as the father of sociologist, he introduced the term sociology in the year 1838, and he is considered as the father of sociology. Okay, and this term sociology, it was coined by the Auguste Comte, who was a French philosopher. So now, what is the definition of society? So some definitions of the term society are given by so many sociologists like Horton and Hunt, McIver, Page, Professor Giddens, and apart from them, there are lots of other sociologists also who define the term sociology. If I can say about the Auguste Comte, he defined the sociology, it is the science of social order and progress. Horton and Hunt, he says that a society is a relatively independent, self-perpetuating human group which occupies a territory, shares a culture, and has most of its associations within group. McIver and Page, he defined society is a system of usages and procedures, authority, and mutual aid of many groupings and division of human behavior and of the liberties. So, now, next definition is given by the Professor Giddens. He defines society is the union itself, the organization, the sum of former relation in which associating individuals are bound together. So now, what is the nature of society? So that this society is most fundamental to sociology, and according to George Simmel, it is this element of sociability which defines the true sense of society, and it indicates that man always lives in the company of other people. As I already said, that man is a social animal, as said by the Aristotle. Okay, and man needs society for his living, working, and enjoying life. So there are some basic points which define the nature of society. First one, society consists of people. As society is composed of people, without people there can be no society, no social relationship, and no social life at all. So society has become an essential condition for human life to continue. We can define society as a group of people who share a common culture, occupy a particular territorial area, and feel themselves to constitute a unified and distinct entity. So it is the mutual interactions and interrelations of individuals and groups. Second point is mutual awareness and mutual interaction. As I said right now, that society is a group of people in continuous interaction with each other. A social interaction is made possible because of the mutual awareness. Society is understood as a network of social relations. Thus, social relationship implies the mutual awareness. Third point, society depends on likeness. So this principle of likeness is essential for society, and it exists among those who resembles one another in body and mind to some extent. Just as the birds of same feathers flock together, man have many things in common. It implies consciousness of kind. Plus, if I can say that society rests on differences too. So if in a society the men are exactly alike, their social relationship would be very limited. People differ from one another in their looks, personality, ability, talent, attitude, aptitude, interest, taste, faith, and so on. So people pursue different activities because of these differences. So in society, one unit depends upon another, hence all are there interdependent, and society consists of likeness plus differences also. Next point is cooperation and division of labor. So, division of labor involves the assignment to each unit or group or a specific share of a common task. For example, common task of providing the banking service involves counter services, accountancy, loan lending. Division of labor is possible because of the cooperation. Because if we are not cooperating with each other, then it is not possible for us to work or to produce anything. So thus division of labor and cooperation have made social solidarity of social cohesion. Now next is the society functions interdependently too. So social relations and social relationships, they are characterized by interdependence of elements of society. Okay, and family is an example of interdependence of member for its smooth functioning. Today not only individuals are interdependent upon one another, but communities, social groups, and nation also interdependent. And one of the institution of society cannot fulfill all the requirement of society. So it is the interdependence that fulfills the need of society and its goal. And we can say that in the modern society, not only the countries but also several countries, they are interdependent on another. So for a society to be in harmony and proper functioning, cooperation is required, and no society can exist in isolation. Okay, so various institutions of society interact with each other to maintain the cordial relations. society is dynamic. So we can say that society is not static, but it is dynamic, and changeability is an inherent quality of human beings. No society can even remain constant for any length of time. Changes may take place slowly and gradually, of suddenly and abruptly. So we can say that change is permanent, okay, and society is not static, because every society will change according to the needs of the peoples, or according to the needs of the individual who are present in a particular society. Now next point is social control. So absolute freedom makes man's life like other animal beings. So society has its own ways of controlling the behavior of its member. For this, society has formal and informal means of social control, like customs, tradition, mores, folkways, manners. They are the informal means of social control, whereas laws, police, constitution, so these are the formal means of social control. Because of these norms, these regulations, these customs and traditions, the a particular behavior and the manner in which a person act, it is controlled by all these things. Now next is the types of society. So here if I can say what are the types of society, basically there are pre-industrial and industrial, or I can we can say that it is the post-industrial. So there are many writers, they have classified these societies into various categories, like Durkheim, Maine and Karl Marx. So according to Durkheim and the Maine, they all are the thinkers of this particular, under this concept of sociology, and they define different types of societies. And all these thinkers, they have broadly divided society into pre-industrial and post-industrial. Like the sociologist Comte, they base their classification of societies on the intellectual development, and most of them consider the evolutionary nature of society, one type leading to the other. And one more way of dividing society is that of the Karl Marx, and his classification of society is based on the institutional framework of society as determined by a group of people who control the means of production. So according to Marx, he classified the society into five types: primitive, Asiatic, ancient, feudal, and capitalist. But here I will tell you about the pre-industrial and post-industrial. So pre-industrial society, it refers to specific social attributes and forms of political and cultural organization that were prevalent before the advent of industrial revolution, which occurred from 1750 to 1850, and it is followed by the industrial society. So some of the features are, first of all, use of simplest technology developed locally with the help of indigenous knowledge. Second, they are pro-literate knowledge. Low division of labor. In pre-industrial societies, production was relatively simple and the number of specialized craft was limited. Joint family structure is prevalent in pre-industrial societies. Dominance of religious and superstitious belief over people's day-to-day life activities. So these are the some features of pre-industrial societies, in which they use the simplest technology for doing their work, plus there was a low division of labor. In pre-industrial societies, the production was relatively simple, and they prevalent to live in the joint family, and also there was the dominance of religion and plus superstition. Now, next, the pre-industrial society, it can be subdivided into following subtypes. So, first one is the hunting and gathering society. So this particular type of society, it is the simplest kind of society among all kinds of societies, and the use of the simple tools to hunt animals and gather vegetation is the feature of this society. Today just a few remain, include the Aka and Paijims of Central Africa, the Bushmen of Southwestern Africa, Roti of Nepal. So only in these tribes these kind of particular society is prevalent in today world also. Next is the horticulture and pastoral societies. So 10 to 12 thousand years ago, a new technology began to change the lives of people. At that time, they discovered the horticulture, the use of hand tools to cultivate the crops. So, human first planted the gardens in the fertile regions of Middle East and then in the Latin America and Asia. And with the spread of the knowledge of horticulture throughout the world, people inhabiting and regions such as the Sahara in Western or Africa found horticulture a little value. So those people turn to domestication of animals. And third is the agrarian societies. About 5,000 years ago, another technological revolution was underway in the Middle East and eventually transformed most of the world. This was the discovery of agriculture, in which large scale cultivation using plows harnessed to animals or more powerful energy sources. So these are the subtypes of society under which the man is progressive towards the agriculture and towards the new technologies. Next is the industrial society, or we can say post industrial society, and this industrial mode of production began some 250 years ago in Britain, and from there it spread to the entire world. In the simplest sense, an industrial society is a social system whose mode of production focuses primarily on finished goods manufactured with the aid of machinery. In society, industrial societies refers to a society driven by the use of technology to enable mass production, supporting a larger population with a high capacity for division of labor. So, following these classifications, sociologists often refer to societies as the primitive or modern, literate or non-literate, and a more recent kind of classification which is also used in differentiating the societies into different types is one between the open and closed societies. A closed society is the one in which a traditional and simple society uh, is prevalent. So state tends to resist change while an open society admits change. So now there are some features of industrial societies. With the industrial technology, societies begin to change faster, and industrial societies transformed themselves more in 1 century than they had during the past 1,000 years. So industrialization draws people away from home to factories situated near energy sources. Occupation specialization has become more pronounced. So uh, now next some more basic features of industrial societies. They leads to the rise of very large cities and surrounding suburban areas with a high rate of economic activity. Division of labor becomes over exhibited. Rapid change and movement from place to place also generate anonymity, cultural diversity, and numerous subculture and countercultures. So here I can say that none of these classifications of society is accurate. For every major type have number of subtypes, and one type is of like the capitalist can be of various kinds, finance, capital, and the modern neo-colonial or multinational type. So further, it is to be borne in mind that the chief task of a sociologist is not that of identifying societies but finding out whether a particular kind of society has the potential to nurture, defend, and survive. Such a study alone can reveal the sociological aspects of society and thereby facilitating understanding of societies as they are, and if need be, activate the required changes. And in other words, I can say that sociology based on values relies on objective analysis of societies. However, in recent years, there have been several studies of what are variously called the societies, or these studies have been related to the journal study of the bureaucracy or the complex organized society. So it is not enough, however, to characterize the pre-British world or pre-British India as an irrigation civilization with a centralized village system of production. Now we come towards the conclusion. So society refers usually to group of people under who lives and work together, or who share the social norms and values. It is simply a web of social relationship. So people interact in a defined territory and share a culture. So today the structure of social has been changed from hunting and gathering societies and agrarian societies to industrial societies. But still we need society from birth to till death for the performance of social values and norms. So here I can say that individuals and societies, they are interdependent, and individuals and society are the two phases of the same reality, pointing to the interaction between the two. So neither the society itself has a value beyond the service which it rendered to its members, nor the individuals can thrive without society. And neither the society is inimical to the development of individuality, nor it exists in its own right. In fact, both are complementary and supplementary to each other, and individuals and societies, they are not separate, they are the two sides of the same coin. So thank you, and that's all for in this video. And here I discuss with the basic concept of sociology, what is the meaning of society and the types of society. Okay, now thank you all of you.